Good morning, guys. I am Mama Bear to Many. I am mom to 14 children, and today we are going to do some baking. So come along when we do our baking day. This is totally different than a lot of people do because we are baking without sugar or commercial sugar and without wheat. So it is totally gluten-free. These recipes that I'm doing are actually keto. So if you enjoy that, then come along and see us. Making muffin in our jammies. So in here I have, let's see, 5 cups of almond flour. I have 1 cup of monk fruit. I have 3, I'll crack the eggs, you can dump this. I have 3 teaspoons of baking powder. I have half a teaspoon of salt. To that, she is adding 2/3 cup of almond milk, and I am adding 2/3 cup of melted butter, and then to that we're going to add 6 eggs. Can you help me count?
Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6. Good job. Now you can use this and mix them all up, okay? Can you do that?
Yeah.
Try to keep all this stuff in the bowl. And I'm gonna grab some chocolate chips. We added the chocolate chips in there. We just added a bag of chocolate chips. And then we're using the dairy-free chocolate chips. We really should be using the Lily's or something like that. It brings the carb count up just a little bit higher for us, but that's what we had for one, and I wanted to do it so everyone can have the same thing. So that is what we're doing. Got laundry going. Saturday morning. Gonna give kids baths and showers. We're working our way through, so we just kind of stay in our jammies until we've done that. Not we, but the little kids. Younger kids, I should say. We are going to make these, and then we need to make brownies. And then whoever wants to really help in the morning time can help. And if they've helped with one thing, then we'd give somebody else an opportunity. But if nobody else wanted to, then they could help with an additional thing. So we have to ask Sweet Pea if she wants to cook anything this morning. So I'm gonna make these and the brownies, and I might try. I have.
Is that good for undoing it?
You'd like to try to scoop it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have a new recipe for pumpkin muffins, and I think that I might try to do pumpkin muffins. It has like a nut top, so I think I'm gonna try that one this morning. I've only tried a couple muffins, and we tend not to eat too much. I find it easier, and I also find it better if we try to avoid not having a bread-like product, I guess. Has been easier just trying to keep in carb counts and keep in like dietary restrictions of our household. It's easier just to avoid it and have food that's not baked, and it's also easier. That said, there is some baking that we do on weekends. We usually have we call it a treat snack, so maybe brownies, or I might buy some ice cream that Sweet Pea could have. I think I'm going to make a cobbler from some canned berries that I have that I'm trying to use up. So I'll probably do a blueberry, not cobbler, maybe cobbler, a cobbler or a crisp or something. Oops. I don't know that I did much better, love. So I usually do something on the weekends like that to make it special. Otherwise, we usually have a fruit or a vegetable or cheese sticks or meat sticks or nuts or something like that for a snack. And we do have snacks.
It's good.
Do you need another one?
Mm-hmm.
There we go. I really don't want you eating this one because it doesn't have our eggs in it. It has store eggs in it. No, I don't want you eating it because it has store eggs in it. Okay, thank you. Store eggs sometimes have different bacteria than home eggs, okay? And we don't want to get a sick tummy. I saw our chicken laid an egg the other day. Whoa, that's a big one. You put that in that one and I'll use the rest of it in here. I'm gonna grab the spatula. Scrape all the tidbits so we use it all up. Can you use your finger? Hey, Mom. Can you use your finger and scrape that into there? Oh, I might even get 2 muffins out of this. I'm gonna cut that in half, I think. Oops.
It's on my finger.
It's on your finger.
It's that, Mama.
What are we gonna do? Did you have fun outside?
Mm-hmm. I'm already clean.
And you're clean. Took a shower. You're good. Put that skirt on. Alrighty, so what I'm gonna do is I'll start another tray of something so that when my, actually, I don't think I need to. I have the wood stove on. I can just put these in the wood stove. I usually, if I did not have the wood stove, I would start and make sure that I was actually filling my oven all the way. I'll get the carp in the inside and you get the outside. There we go. So, those are those, and we are going to go and cook those. So I'm going to use this canned pumpkin. I don't know if this is pumpkin or butternut squash. I use them interchangeably. I chunk my pumpkin like this, and then I can it. I do not have any issues with it. I don't know if it's recommended by the USDA. I know pumpkin puree should not be canned because like the density and thickness of it. I just pretty much can it just like potatoes because potatoes are like the same like consistency as a hard squash. So this is my pumpkin. I am going to drain this out and then I am going to put it in the bowl and whisk it a little bit, and then we'll add the other ingredients. And the recipe that I am trying, I have not done this one before, is pumpkin keto muffins. So for this recipe, I just added my pumpkin puree like this. This is fine because as soon as I put the mixer on, once everything's done, or once everything's in here, then that's just gonna mix right up. For every quart of your canned pumpkin filling, you can use, that's like 2 cups of pumpkin puree, which is going to actually double this recipe. So I am going to add, I'm trying to remember where I put it. I move things around so you guys can see better. All right, so I have the almond flour here, and I am going to add 4 cups of almond flour. And yes, I'm using the same exact bowl that I just used for my other ones. That is one thing about doing multiple things, is you can do it in the same bowl and not have a bunch of dishes. So I am doing 4 cups of the almond flour. Now, normally people would have like muffins for breakfast or something like that, and you can do that. I'm actually looking for something to accompany my soups, especially when my husband is home. He likes some sort of like something to go with soups, and that is fine. So I am just looking at different recipes here in order to do that. So we have the 2 cups of almond flour. I am going to do 1 cup of this brown sugar. Actually, I'm going to dump this into my, oh, maybe I'm not. I was going to say I was going to dump it into my hand because part of it felt kind of crunchy. I just opened this last week. Yes, last week. But it seemed a little crunchy. I don't know. So it really depends on my week if I plan on doing any bread things or not. They're actually playing in the other room. They just came in from outside. I have older people playing with them. She's gonna come see Mama. She put herself in timeout. Do you want to come get a snuggle? She's upset because somebody wasn't sharing with her. Oh. Share. Yes, we need to share. So I'm doing 1 cup of the brown sugar. And then I'm going to do baking powder. I have 2 tablespoons of the baking powder. And then I just find baking powder easier to get out of those type of containers versus the bags that I use. And then this is pumpkin pie spice. Yes, this is pumpkin pie spice. It should be labeled, but I think the lid for this got put someplace else. So this is going to be 1.5 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. Yes. 1 orange, yes. Then we're going to do 1 teaspoon of salt. Again, I need to find out where I just put that. Oh, there it is over there. Okay, I got the salt, so I am doing 1 teaspoon of salt. And then I'm going to do, let me see, 4 tablespoons of coconut flour. To that, I'm going to add 8 eggs and almond milk. Let me just mix this real quick. This is what it looks like. I'm just going to mix this real quick and then I'll add the wet ingredients. Okay, some of that still needs to get crunched up a little bit, but we got the majority of it. We're going to be mixing it in a minute. So I need 1 cup of almond milk. I'm going to use my box almond milk that I got from Dollar Tree. These are really cheap at Dollar Tree. It's only $1.25. So I'm going to use this. Although this week I got some on sale that goes in the fridge. I just had a little bit left in that, so I wanted to use that one first. And then I'm going to do 8 eggs. 6, 7. And then after that, I want to build a bigger coop. 8. I have some roofing. I had like a portable coop that I thought that I could build years ago. And I made it almost like a chickshaw, but I made it big, thinking that I could move that around better, and it would not move around at all. So I'm taking the roof off of that in order to build this chicken coop. So that's going to save me a little bit of cost, but I want to do it right because we get varmints, like raccoons kill our chickens, skunks kill our chickens, weasels kill our chickens. We have a really hard time with them, so it's like a pain if you raise them for all that time. They just start laying and then a stupid fox or whatever wants to come and take your animals. Anyway, I want to do it right. So I have my plans all ready and up, so I'm gonna tuck money away here and there. Anyway, hopefully we'll be able to get that done, and if we can't, that's okay too. We have some chickens, but for now I have these cheap eggs that I put in here. I'm gonna go mix this up. Okay, so I'm gonna put the pumpkin batter in here. It does have a topping, so I'm going to leave a little bit of space on top in order to do that. It is chilly today. I bought a couple different solar lights. I have a really beautiful Aladdin lantern that I spent the money on. Oh, I don't know if it was probably 2 years ago now. And last storm that we got, I tried to use the lantern. I had tried to use it before and I completely blew out this little like thing that goes on top of it. Like I caught it on fire. And they cost like $20 a piece. And I got another one, and so last storm I tried to do it again and it worked, but I blew that stupid thing out again. So I'm like, oh my goodness, this is so frustrating. So until I actually figure it out, I'm trying to just do some solar type lighting for when we lose power. And it really depends on the year. When we first moved up here, we lost power. I don't want to say quite a bit, but it was frequent. Like, it was frequent enough that I thought about, like, okay, what if we lost power for a long time? I guess that's what I'm trying to say. We lost it a couple days for 3 or 4 days, a couple times for 3 or 4 days. So I'm trying to just be prepared all the way for that. And I noticed, I mean, I have a propane on propane stove. I am just so blessed by that. I have a wood stove that we put in over the years. We just have like made preparations, so if we lose power, then we're okay. I mean, we can cook on our wood stove, we can cook on our propane stove. We have, we have access to fresh water, all those types of things. But I noticed that we were lacking with lighting last time we lost power. And I think it's really important, especially when you have a lot of younger children, to have appropriate lighting. So I'm trying to set some things up. I don't have a huge budget, but I did, I found some things. For one, I found some camping supply type things that I already had. I wasn't quite sure where they were. So I ordered some more batteries in because batteries were missing. And if you have a house of kids, you may occasionally be losing batteries as well. So we did that. I'm trying to fit these all on one. Okay, so now I'm just going to do the topping for that, which is going to be 2/3 cup of almond flour. Then 1/2 cup of brown sugar. Using this. A little bit more. There we go, that's 1/2 cup. I'm a fairly good eyeballer. Yes, I'm doing it in the same bowl. No, I did not wash the bowl. It will be okay. Let's see, 2 tablespoons of coconut flour. Oh, actually 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then teaspoon of cinnamon, which I don't have over here. My pecans. This is 6 tablespoons of crushed pecans, and then I'll go get the cinnamon and the butter. Okay, we like cinnamony things, and we also like butter. So the rest of this, I am just going to kind of eyeball, because neither of these have carbs in them. So I'm putting quite a bit of cinnamon in there, probably 1 teaspoon. And then I have this butter, and I am going to like crumble this up in here just with my hands. I'll see. I'll leave a little bit, and then I'll see if I need that as well. My kids are laughing in the other room. Okay, so this will probably be good. I'm gonna finish mixing this up, and then we'll put it on top of the muffins. Okay, so I'm just gonna take that topping and put a little bit on the tops of these. Sticky, sticky. The kids are having an adventure in the other room. Can you hear them? I think that it's, I like watching sometimes like quiet and relaxing and peaceful content on YouTube, and beautiful kitchens and stuff. I think that that's absolutely lovely, but it's really just not me. It would be really hard for me to try to find like a quiet space unless, I mean, even at midnight, there's usually stuff going on. Last night I was up with Sweet Pea and her numbers, and just whatever, it would be kind of weird too. There'd be no sun in my house, and you know my house is dark. So anyway, they are having fun. They are taking baths and just there's somebody in there. I am so thankful that I do have some older children now that can help me multitask. But when my kids were younger, I would do bulk type stuff, and I would do that either when they were sleeping, or I used to have a little living room right off my kitchen, and I would kind of lock that gate right there, and I would let them play in there while I was in the kitchen, and I would just try to get a couple things done that way. So those look good. I gotta get the other ones. I was not able to fit those on one tray, so here is the other tray. We've been helping out with mom who has, she has a toddler, and she just recently had twins, so at 2 months old now. And it reminds me of the days when I, most of the time I usually had 3 children, 3 and under at the house, and just different techniques that I used to do to try to do it. My husband worked a lot of hours, and so I would do a lot of freezer meals. I might spend one day and just be like, okay, I am gonna let them have like a movie marathon today, because we didn't watch a lot of TV. I'd let them have like a movie marathon like for the day, and just try to get a bunch of those freezer meals done. I would have like, I don't know, 20 packs of chickens, and just like line up my bags and just pop them all in there. And yeah, it might have taken like 6 or 8 hours. And I'd have to stop and nurse, or a lot of times I'll wear my ergo carrier and like nurse the baby. But then I had it for the rest of the month. So that's just a little thing that might help you. I don't know what season you're in either. But that helped me and blessed me when I had a lot of little ones at the house. It's okay to do that, or to spend a day where you're not like 100% present in order to make the other days so you can be 100% present. So let's go put these in the oven. So these just got pulled out of the oven. She's putting those ones into the oven. As you can tell, the back side was a little hot when I started to put these in. I was just being not patient. I opened the door for a minute, and I should have like waited, and I didn't, and it's okay. These will be fine. They are just crispy on top, but the rest of the muffin is really good. So that is that. Okay, so I just sprayed my ramekin out. That's this thing here, with some oil, and I really didn't need to. I'm just putting in half a teaspoon of coconut oil, and then I'm going to do 1 tablespoon of sweetener. And this is just going to be for sweet peas brownie, and then I'll make a pan of other brownies. I have 1,000,001 things to do. I'm just going to throw an egg in there. I'm going to grab a fork. Just going to mix it like this a little bit. I do her brownie a little bit different than everyone's brownie, but she really likes this, so that is good. So then I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. Then I'm going to do 2 teaspoons of coconut flour. One, 2, and then I'm doing half a teaspoon of baking powder. And then I'm going to mix this just a little bit. There we go. Then I'm going to add 1.5 tablespoons of heavy cream. she likes this plain, or for like a super dessert, we might add some Rebel ice cream on top of that. So for a type 1, eating it with Rebel ice cream, you actually, I don't even need to give her any insulin because it's under 10 carbs. Or 10. I find that with the Rebel ice cream, I do not need to actually even give her any injection at all because it's net carbs. Not everything I can use net carbs, but with the Rebel ice cream, I can. Last night we had some keto bread, and yeah, she spiked after that, even though I did it with regular carbs. Okay, so that's that, and I am going to pop that in the oven and make a big tray of brownies. So I was taking kids and stuff out of the bath, so my daughter, she made some brownies for the rest of the kids this morning. So those are about ready to go in the oven. I just got to go check on those muffins. Okay, so for this recipe, we would have 3 cups of gluten-free flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 cup of cocoa powder. It's 3 cups of chocolate chips melted in 1 1/3 cups of coconut oil. You kind of just melt that down and like put that in the mix. 4 cups of sugar and 6 eggs. So that is what we found that they actually enjoy. We are working on doing some other recipes as well. This is super fudgy. So you do not need like massive squares. We use like smaller squares for this because it is so rich. So we just pulled these ones out of the oven. These are the pumpkin ones here. Ooh, they're hot, but they look really good. They rose nicely. I wasn't quite sure about that, but they look really nice. We'll taste them in a little bit, and we're going to put those brownies into the oven. I still have a couple left on another tray and sweet peas brownie in the oven, and then these brownies are going in. I'm warming up lunch, and then I'll be back. So there is her brownie real quick. It's actually like super yummy. So she loves those, and if it's special, we'll just put some Rebel ice cream on top, or just have it plain. Okay, so this is going to be my last thing. I'm just going to make like a quadruple batch of what I normally do, and pop all these in the freezer. So I'm going to take a cup of, 2 cups of butter and throw it in this saucepan. And then I'm going to add to that, 6 cups of peanut butter. So somebody so nicely sent us these great big jars of peanut butter, so we are going to use this up for that. I love this peanut butter because it has low carbs, which is totally awesome. So now these are treats that Sweet Pea can have and all the kids can have as well. So I'm gonna scrape the rest of that out. So I just have this on the wood stove, the butter and the peanut butter melting together. I'm gonna pull this off and then whip it up together. So I just took the mixer, and this is just the butter and the peanut butter. Now I'm going to put in 6 cups of confectionery sugar. I'm not using regular one. I'm using this confectionery erythritol or the Swerve confectionery erythritol, and I am going to mix these up now. Okay, so this is all mixed up, and then I'm going to let some of the younger kids make these into smaller balls. So I know I'm probably going to get asked a couple questions as regards to snacks and all that type of stuff. So basically, we have a type 1 diabetic who we are treating with a low carb diet. She chooses what she wants to eat on a daily basis because I need to adjust her insulin according to what she wants to eat that day. Everyone else pretty much eats a meal. And then we have a side salad most meals, that if they want to have a salad with their food, they can. They could also choose to have a salad with just like their meat on top of that. So that is pretty much how we are eating. As far as these snacks and stuff go, I've really changed my way of thinking. Snacks are, and like dessert type things, they really should be a treat, not an everyday occurrence. Like, oh, we need to have 3 snacks a day, as in sugar treats or chips or pop or whatever. Like, you have, as far as breads go, they don't give a whole lot of nutrition or nutritional value to a meal. So I would rather them, it's more like a filler. And so I would rather people fill up with good nutritious food and then have that as just a second. So I did start kind of like rationing those types of things. Like, I don't want them to eat like 4 muffins and then not want to eat their steak and salad. I'd rather them get the nutrients that they need to nourish their bodies in order to do that. And I've noticed lots of things. I've noticed that mental, I'm trying to think of like the proper word, like what word it would be. Like, mentally they seem to be doing a lot better, as well as physically they're able to have like a higher endurance rate. They're not so like sluggish. They want to go out there and they want to do things. It's really like subtle changes, but it's things that I have seen like personally with different children. It's been different things that it has affected in a positive way. So I've been doing those types of things. Every week I do not bake. I'll be completely honest with you. I don't. It's probably like twice a month maybe. And it's usually like just to try something out. I did bake this week because I do see that I have quite a few soups on the menu, and I thought that they would go nicely with the soups on the menu. Now, I used to be the type of person that would sit down and literally spend hours. I would bake every week. I would bake 14 loaves of bread. I would make about 100 muffins. I would make usually 2 batches of cookies for kids to have treats. And then I'd also a lot of times make a couple pies. Like, I did a lot of baking. And I am really enjoying this other side, this other style, where people, it's kind of like a big transition, because I was always thinking that we had to fill up on those things, and I was trying to fill my children, and I was trying to fill them with all of these like bread products, which did fill them, but only like temporarily fill them. So it was more like it would fill them for the moment, but then they'd be hungry later. Where this type of philosophy or theory like is, I want to fill them as in nourish their bodies, as in give them the nutrients that their bodies need in order to be a healthy individual. So I think it's just like a different outlook. And because I started to do that, I'm noticing that a lot of the kids are craving and wanting more real food, which is good. Now, what about the cost? Well, the cost, honestly, has been about equal, because when you give your body the nutrients that it needs, it doesn't really want the other stuff. Like today, Sweet Pea had a hamburger for lunch. She had a hamburger with lettuce. That was her request. And I offered her, like, do you want to have a mandarin or one of these chocolate chip muffins that I just made? And she chose the mandarin. Because her body is craving like nutrition instead of like filler. So I know that some people might be trying to like mentally figure out the math as far as if they were to change their diet, how much would it change, because they'd be eating more meat and whatever. But really, like, the first little bit can be kind of difficult because your body needs more to get all the nutrients. But once the nutrients are in there, it works out to be about the same. And once you stop like doing all the extra fillers, then it actually equals out financially because of those things. I don't know if that makes much sense, but it really has just equaled out. I kind of took the leap of faith. I was worried that we weren't going to be able to afford to eat the way that I wanted to eat. That is, some people ask if we're keto or if we're paleo. We're really neither. We're kind of in between. We pretty much eat meat and vegetables, and then a side of either rice or potato, like occasionally, like a couple times a week it might be, right? So maybe out of 14 meals, maybe 5 of those would have one of those things. I think that we are going to be eating a little bit more potatoes because I'm trying to use up some potatoes through this challenge. As far as like breakfast, I'm going to do fried potatoes, and that's normally not what I was doing. So it's just different. It's not really more expensive or less expensive. It's just different, but it's just different in a good way because you can almost feel yourself being nourished and you're not constantly craving the sweets and the carbs. So I'm making these peanut butter balls right now, and I quadrupled the recipe. Now, I've made these before, and I made them with regular sugar and that type of stuff, and people would like tank those down. If I allowed them, that whole thing would have been gone in like a day. But honestly, now what I'll do is I kind of just portion them out, and it would be like, oh, everyone would have like a ball. So that will probably last for like 5 snacks maybe. So it will probably last like 2 weeks, honestly, in our house, maybe even a little longer. We might have them like twice a week, and that might be like in the evening time, as a treat. So yeah, we've been trying to do, we actually used to just do 2 snacks a day, but we've been adding a 3rd snack before bed, just so it seems to be better for sweet pea's blood sugar to have that 3rd snack. So we are doing that before bed, and normally it's something like a cheese stick. If she was lower, I might do like half an apple and peanut butter. But occasionally, like if she looks good, that one of those balls does not affect her blood sugar at all. So it's just trying to figure out, it's been like such a game of figuring out what affects her and what doesn't affect her and what she likes and doesn't like. So I say, like, if you can, make things more simpler, but at the same time, like, don't feel obligated to have to bake on a consistent basis. What I want to get into, I think, is I want to do like a sorghum sourdough bread, and then I would just do that like twice a week, and that would be fine to go with whatever, and I wouldn't have to worry about doing all the, I still might make brownies or something, like, or a crisp or something. I don't even think I'm going to do the crisp. I decided to do the balls later in the week. One of my daughters might do the crisp, but I need to get that laundry. I have a bunch of laundry that I need to get folded, and I am tired. I had a really rough night. We were up like every half an hour, not half an hour, every 2 hours giving insulin, and then up more with little kids. So it was just a long night, and I didn't go to bed until 1 because I was trying to watch her to see if she was going to start lowering, because she was just really like high. And it just happened. I bought store-bought keto bread, and she had that for supper, and it affected her very badly. Because we were out at the time, I was hoping to get home. I usually pack her lunch. I didn't pack her lunch, and it was just kind of a long scenario, and I bought her that, and it just totally affected her in a negative way. So we paid for it later, unfortunately. But now I know that, right? But I didn't know that before. Okay, I'm rambling now. So I will show you those peanut butter balls, and yeah, I hope you have a blessed day.